Hello, friends. Welcome back to another exciting episode of TechnoGeek SFTC. In this video, we are going to talk about the screen flows which has been provided by Salesforce. So, if I talk about screen flows, what are they? So, screen flows are basically flows where you can create your own screens, or let's say if you get some business scenario where you require user input or to display some information on the UI. Now, with the help of flows, you can do that as well, just with a drag and drop of elements and click and save feature without writing a single line of code. So, if so, let's take about a scenario, and with that, it will be easier to understand how screen flows can be utilized. So, let's say you get a scenario where you need an account screen or when you need an account search screen, and you type some account name, and when you click on search, you get the result of that account. And if there is no result comes in, then in that case, you create an account and then you can create a contact and associate that with the account. So let's say this use case you get. Now, if you go through the normal procedure where we create the Lightning Web component or Aura components for this, where you need to put your methods in the JavaScripts and method in the Apex side, and then you create that component and place it on the home screen. But again, in that case, now you need to basically further create the test classes, you need to maintain the code of that, and there will be a lot of other complexities which might arise in future. But now if I tell that you can do all these things just with the help of flows, okay, and if you're not a developer or if you don't have any development background, still you can create these types of screen. So interesting, is it? You will feel much more confident that you can handle more varieties of business scenario. So let's see how we can build this particular use case in our flows. So for that, you can navigate to flows and I'll create a new flow. Okay. So as soon as you click on the new flow, you will get a first option, you will get it as the screen flows. So I'll select the screen flows and click on create. Now, my first requirement is I need a screen where user can do the input. Okay. So let's say I'm creating a screen. So in screen flows, this is one element which you will find only in screen flows, not in any other type of flows. That is a screen component. Okay. Now here I will put a text box. Let's say, yeah. So before I put any text box, I want to show that there are multiple types of inputs you are already getting as an out of the box feature in the screen flows. Like you have email, you have file upload, you have lookup, you have a lot of other stuffs you have. So in our case, we will only take the text box currently. We will drag and drop here. So once you drag and drop, it will ask for certain input parameters, or you can say the configuration parameter. So I'll give account search, account search and default values. So basically, let's say you provided a text box, but whatever the input you're entering, that needs to be stored in some variable, right? So for that, you will create a variable here. So let's say I'm creating a variable and I'm just putting an account name. Data type will be text. Okay. So this is how I have set up. Now let's say I'm giving the flow label as account search screen. Okay. Now I'll click on done. I got one screen here of account search. Okay. Now next thing is we need to check whether there is an account with that particular name or not. So for that, we will use a get record. And in that, I will select account. And now we will select a condition. So since we are checking with the name, so we will keep the account name. And here you will get the account name. So this is the variable which will be having the name which we are giving on the first screen. And let's say I'll only take the first record. Yeah. And now we'll click on, or if you want, I'll create another variable, let's say choose a, and I'll store it in the record variable here. I'll just create a record variable of type account record. I'll put an account record. Okay. And object will be of type account. And right now I only need ID. Let's say I'll try to get a name. Okay. So I have put a name, and when no record returns, the variable will be null. Now it's done. So here I'm getting the get record. Okay. Now next is we'll put a condition that if account is present, then what we need to do. Else, if it is not present, then what we need to do. So for that, we will be using a decision element. So I have put account present here, and we will select that if account record is not equal to null. So this means if account record is present, okay, then what we need to do, we will again create a screen where we will be giving the contact detail. So here I would like to show a very interesting feature of you can say of Salesforce, that is fields, which has been in this in the flows from long time, but I think in winter 23 release this will come as a GA feature. So for that, so fields basically what we do is in fields, whatever the object name or object you want to, you know, create a record of, you can select that particular resource, and all the fields will automatically come with the predefined data type or the data type of the fields which is already present on the object. So we will come with more details of how the field works and all in our next video. So in this video, we will currently use a field. For that, we need to create a record variable. So here now we have already placed our field called full name, and I'll give another name called contact screen, and we will click on done. So whatever input you will give, it will get stored in the variable. And next is where we will create our record. So so before creation, as we discussed, we need to map it with the account which we have received. So let's say assign account ID, because all contacts usually should have a account ID. So here we will put account ID equals the account record dot ID. So whichever account has came up as part of the search result, we will assign the contact to that particular account here. This is done, and now we will create a record. So we will use the create element to create contact record, and I will use a record variable, that is contact data, to create that particular record. This is done, and in next screen we will just display the contact ID to verify that yeah, it has been created. Okay, so here I will use output text or display text, you can say, So this is the display contact ID. What value we want to display? So here we can use the resource, and the resource will be the contact data dot ID. So once it gets created, the ID field will have the contact ID. So we just want to showcase here. Along with that, if you my contact ID is, so if you want to put some text, that also you can put. So it can take like merge fields in our email templates. It can take the merge fields and it can display the data based on runtime. So this is a screen which we have. Oh, my bad. I need to give the label contact result. And yes, so this is one flow where we are creating, or you can say where we are creating the contact record based on the account search what we have received. So let's try to save it. Account search screen. And then I will activate this. I just want to correct myself at one place here. So in text field, basically, if you want to use the value which you have provided in the text field in some other element, then you don't need this variable that is the default values. Instead, you need to use the API name of the text component which you have inserted here. So I have just updated one get account record here. See, so now I have used name equals account search, which is the API name of this particular text box. Okay. Now let's try to debug and we will see how this is going to behave. Let's say in case if I'll just put one more screen here that I'll put one output display. Oh, just a second. Yeah, so for default output, I will put one more screen that no account has been, no account found, or something like that. Okay, so I'll put a display text here, no account screen, and I'll just put a text here that no account found with the name, and again I'll use a merge field here with the search. So this will be my output if I don't receive any account record. Okay, okay, I need to give the label here. Okay, and now we will save it, and okay, now I need to activate it. So I have activated. Now just to see that our flow is working as per the condition, we can use the debug of our flow. I'll close all these, and yeah, I will do a run. So first I will search with a, let's say, some random name here. Okay, and we'll see what is the output. See, so since there is no account, it has given that no account found with the name. Now I will rerun this. Let's say I'll check with, okay, test college, which I know this is an account. So now see the input has changed where now you have been redirected to create a contact. Here I will select Mr. and let's say I'll put flow demo contact. Okay. So this I have created, this I have input as a search. So if you remember in this element, we have not used the three fields. Instead, we have just used a field called name of contact. So if you know, a name field on the contact is a composite field, or it's a compound field basically, which contains your first name, last name, and the salutation. So since I have just taken up the full name here, it automatically provides me these three boxes to fill and create the record. This is one of the feature of the fields which I was discussing. We will come up more on that when I will provide a video on that in detail. Now I will click on next. So see, now I have got a message that my contact has been created. Now if I come here and I'll just try to search for this contact. See, so now the contact has been created with the name which I has provided and the account which I search. Okay, so this is the power of flow, you can say, where we have created the whole search screen without writing a single line of code. So I hope you got a overview of how the screen flow works. Now you can use these screen flows at multiple places. Like you can use in quick actions or you can use in your home screens or a lot of places. So we will just try to place it on our home screen. So we'll come to Lightning and we will click on edit page of the home. Now on the home page, the edit of the home page, that is an app builder, you will see an option called flow here. I will drag and drop the flow on this screen. Now, if you see the input variables, you will see a variable to give the flow name. So by default, it takes the first variable, which was our account search screen. But if you can see, I have multiple screen flows basically in my system, and all those you're seeing in the list here. So I will select for the account search. And if you want certain inputs from the admin while entering while configuring the flow, you can use the input and output variable. We will discuss regarding this when on a we will come on a video where we will be using the Apex with Lightning flows. So we will discuss about that in more detail. So here we have now configured our flow and I'll just save it. I will assign it as an org default and let's see once it is done. So now you can see that my account search screen have come on the home screen, and here you can use again the same thing. We can, if you want, we can just test it. Like I will search for this and again I will get a screen here. Okay, so this is the use case, one of the use case of the screen flows here. Okay, similarly there are multiple use case you can utilize the screen flows where, let's say, if you want to create certain quick actions or if you want to embed it in your aura components or somewhere, multiple places are there based on the business requirements and all, you can utilize this. So in this video we just got an overview of how the powerful the screen flow is, and without any development knowledge, how you can utilize screen flows to build some good screens where user can give the inputs and business can do their business, or they can basically run their business requirements considering some user input. So I hope you like this video. Please share and subscribe, and soon more videos will come up. Thank you.